We bought our cabin in the woods of northern Michigan 1 year ago, but decided to leave in our trailer for the harsh Michigan winters. Little did we know, this winter would be the worst one in the past 50 years.
According to the National Weather Service, the paralyzing ice storm is the worst to hit the area in 50 years, with roughly 100,000 initially without power. Emergency responders tell me many relying on generators finally are relieved to see gas stations and grocery stores reopen.
Being over 1,000 miles from home while a once-in-a-generation ice storm occurs is an unsettling feeling, but thankfully we're here only a few weeks later to assess the damage and begin cleaning up our property. Welcome to Living Large Camping. Just pulled into the shop to try to drop the camper off. Here's the road. There was a huge, almost once-in-a-lifetime ice storm that came through this area about a month ago, and we knew there were a bunch of trees down, but this is pretty bad. This is one of our neighbor's properties, and we store the camper here in exchange for taking care of her property. And this is the first time anybody has put eyes around here. This place is a mess. The ice storm pretty much snapped the tops of probably 1 in 10 trees. I mean, all across this area. And it is gonna take a long time to clean this up. If it's bad here, I can only imagine how bad our property looks. There's no chance of us making it back to the shop to drop off the camper, but we can at least get the camper back towards the log cabin on the property. That way we can get it off the road. It is going to take forever to get this place cleaned up and right. Moment of truth. The property's already a mess, but how's the cabin look? Hello?
Has anyone been living here? Well, we haven't seen a critter scurry yet, and it smells actually pretty good in here. I thought it would maybe smell a little musty, but no, it smells great. Yay us for cleaning, deep cleaning before we left. Well, this feels so weird to be here.
Crazy.
Oh my gosh, what the heck?
Almost 6 months to the day since we left this cabin back in October.
Wow.
Feels good to be back.
It does, but it also feels like no time has passed. I don't know if it does for you. Obviously, we have had so many great adventures in between, but it always feels weird when you go back to a place and it just doesn't feel like you ever left it.
Weird and nice.
Yeah, it's a weird feeling, but a nice feeling. Oh, she looks so cute!
That's great. And we're even welcomed home with the daffodils blooming.
Oh, they're so cute.
Bad news is, the mounds of wood chips are still here.
So
Thought
rude.
they'd just disappear over the winter.
It's actually so rude someone didn't want to take care of those for us.
Alright, let's clean this place out.
Alright, time to get to work.
First things first, let's get this entranceway cleared out. Surprisingly, this place doesn't look all that dusty, so we're just gonna do a nice mop and wipe all the surfaces before we turn the well on and hopefully don't have any leaks in the house. When we left, we turned off most of the breakers in the house. So now we can come get some of this stuff turned back on. All right, kitchen, bathroom, and lights. That's good. I'm gonna save the well for a second, but the range, I'm gonna save the water heater because that's downstairs. Dryer. Oh, we got washer and dishwasher here. Those can go on. Okay. Amelia's gonna get the rest of the cabin cleaned up and ready. I'm gonna go down into the basement and work on the well. First thing we're gonna do here is turn the breaker on for it. It does have a second switch down in the basement, so I'll have to turn on there, but now at least the power's coming to it. But I'm leaving the water heater off because we don't want that to turn on without any water in it. It would burn itself up and we would have to replace it. This cabin was built on a crawl space foundation, but it's an extremely nice crawl space. At least it was whenever we left. All right, so far, I don't hear anything moving around. This is a dehumidifier for the whole cabin and the basement. We're gonna get that plugged in. Moment of truth. Switch for the well. Is everything closed? That's not closed. That's open. All right, pressure tank's at 0. Water heater is shut. And the freshwater in valve is shut. That way I can run the sink for a minute and get all the sediment out of the well first off. I'm gonna turn the well on and have Amelia open up the faucet and see how it goes. Moment of truth. Sounds like water. All right, we got Amelia here. Hey, will you turn the sink on for me? That's a good sign. How's the water look? Pretty clear?
Yeah, very.
Okay, cool. We got pressure building, so we should be good. Great sign. Turn the well on, and water came out of it. That's exactly what you want to happen. We're building pressure in the pressure tank here, and then once that's full, I'll then open up the water heater, that way it can start filling the water heater up. And hopefully, it all fills, and once it's all pressurized, nothing is leaking. Okay, so far, so good down here. Just a quick little inspection of the wellhead itself. Feels like it's off, and so hopefully that means all the lines underground from the well to the cabin are still intact and didn't burst over the winter. We'll watch this for the next day or two just to make sure that that's true. Always a very important next step. All the air that was left over in the hot water tank is now trying to come out of the lines before the hot water will follow it. Takes a minute. First bad sign, there's a huge crack in the side of our toilet.
Oh.
I wonder, I saw flakes. I don't even know how that happened.
Got too cold, maybe?
Maybe. Okay, so we're going toilet shopping tomorrow.
I mean, the only thing is that I think it got too cold.
Yeah, I don't know, because there was no water in the toilet. I think this is a self-induced mistake, and what I believe I did, ignore the mold that grew over the winter, but I just drained that and put antifreeze in the main bowl, and then I put antifreeze in the top, and I didn't flush the antifreeze in the top into the main bowl. Probably what happened. Hopefully not the same occurrence over at the log cabin, but we'll see when we get that well on another week from today. Even though we just got here and it is 40 minutes to the closest hardware store, we're gonna go tonight and pick up a toilet. That way I can install it in the morning. To either do it now or do it tomorrow, and I don't think we want to do that tomorrow. So we'll have a toilet back up and running tomorrow, hopefully, assuming the install is all well. And it's you know, you get a toilet for your birthday type of day.
Woohoo! How exciting! Little dots. There she goes.
Just the old broken toilet. So, besides the lid, the install's done. I just filled the bowl with water and the back tank with water, so first flush, hopefully it works. That is a relief. First time installing a toilet, honestly didn't take too long, maybe hour and a half.
Yeah, maybe.
The hardest part's getting the old one out because it's heavy and awkward, and it's a pretty straightforward step. So if you ever need to replace a toilet, no need to call a plumber. You can do it yourself. All I used was adjustable wrench, or channel locks, a level, and a screwdriver to get the old wax off. That's it. The real moment of truth is whether or not the hot tub turns on. I've got it filled up here just about all the way full, and now that the water is over all of the jet lines, we can turn the breaker on. We got the heat light turned on, which is a good sign. It's 49 degrees in the water right now, and it's gonna take probably a full day for this thing to heat up. But as long as the heater's working, we should be in good hands. It has been a few days. Amelia and I were starting to get things unpacked at the cabin and just enjoying a little bit of time to ourselves to appreciate our home here. But there is so much work still to be done, and one thing we haven't done at all is walk back into our woods to see how much damage actually happened. We are feeling incredibly glad that we spent so much money and time getting all of the trees right around the cabin removed last year. If you weren't here at the time, we removed 50 trees from right around the perimeter of the cabin. And if we hadn't done that, the ice storm that came through would have knocked a lot of them down because they were dead. and there was a fungus that kind of rotted out the middle of the trees, so the heavy ice ended up snapping most of those trees like we knew it was going to. So very glad that we did that last year, and just appreciating the fact that we don't have to worry about cleaning up trees through the roof of our cabin. So today we're gonna go walk around, see what happened in the backwoods, and I think start getting some of the limbs and like some smaller trees over here by the shed that broke cleaned up, just so that way the front of our cabin doesn't look like a mess. It's been a lot, and there's so much to do, but we're glad to be doing it. We also spent those few days celebrating Amelia's 28th birthday, so be sure to wish her happy birthday down in the comments. She is the best part of my life, and I wouldn't be able to do any of the stuff that we are doing on this channel and everything we've done over the past 7 years together without her. So give her some love, because she deserves it all. Starting off here, you can see a lot of the birch trees also did not make it through the storm. This one's on its way out. It had kind of had some dead branches up there already, but now 80% of its branches have fallen. So that tree will probably end up coming down in the next couple of years. As I mentioned, we still have over 200,000 pounds of wood chips from all the trees that we cut down last year. We are going to end up at least spreading these out, maybe trying to flatten some of the ground out here, but we will be getting rid of these piles hopefully within the next month. It's going to take a lot of work to get them moved, but we will have some equipment to help us do that. It's just a matter of what and when we can get that over here. There she is.
Let's go see what damage we have in the back.
Here's where we're starting to get some of the damage. A couple pretty large ash trees that were completely uprooted fell down there, and then one towards the road. The good thing is these trees that are all the way down are ash trees, and they make great firewood, and they've already been dead for a few years, so they don't have to take like 3 years to dry out and cure over winters. So those will be very nice. Last summer and fall, we kind of marked out a walking trail through the woods using these little pink flags. And while we never really got around to making the trail, it's convenient at letting us know how many trees came down, because we obviously wouldn't have put flags underneath tree branches. And it's a lot of trees.
We're about halfway through our little trail walk, and we would say there's probably about 10 full trees that are down, and then the tops that have snapped off, probably another 10 or 15. So it's not looking great, but like Connor said, I'm glad we got the front cleaned up near our house, because if we didn't, I think that would look like that in the front, whereas all of this debris is in the back, thank goodness. So it's not too much of a worry for us, but it doesn't look the best.
It's time for the first major day of chainsaw work here at the cabin. And all we're really gonna do today is get the black cherry tree that fell right in our front yard and the small maple next to it, get those cleaned up. That way we don't have to look at them out of our window. And then I'm gonna work on getting some of the smaller trees around the cabin cut down before all the leaves grow on them. We probably have a week before there's leaves on all these trees, and there's a number of ones that we want out of our way before then. This is just a Stihl MS-180C, and it's basically like a limbing saw, and for occasional use, and well, 8 acres of hardwoods is not occasional use. So I'll be picking up a much bigger saw this week, but for now, this will do everything we need it to. Thankfully, up here in Michigan, they do sell wrecked fuel, which is unleaded gas without ethanol in it. And what that means is for small tools and small engines that use carburetors, the ethanol is not going to gum up all of the lines and the components of the carburetor. So 2-stroke fuel here with wrecked fuel. I just spilled that everywhere. Yep, making a mess. So the no ethanol fuel does make storing all these tools for the winter a whole lot nicer. This chainsaw my grandmother actually gave me for free whenever we bought this cabin. She had 2 at her property, and she keeps one around just in case somebody needs to come cut her stuff down, but she hires out all of her work, obviously, and didn't need 2 sitting around, so putting it to good use. We had a squirrel or a mouse or something bury a really nice home in one of my old Carhartt jackets in our shed, and they tried to dig it in through these, but thankfully they didn't rip these up because these are expensive. I don't really want to buy new ones this year. Get this thing fired up. Get the rest of this tree taken down now. So it just kind of toppled over this way, which is fine. I was trying to avoid the shed, and obviously the branches that were sticking in the ground, pushing up on the tree, just made it fall that way. But overall, not too bad.
While Connor is using the chainsaw, I'm going to drag the limbs that he cuts up and the ones that have been left over from the ice storm and make a big pile over here, so hopefully we can burn it later and get rid of them that way, because if we don't, these piles are going to be massive. Alright, that is a lot of work, but it looks like a really big pile, so I'm pretty happy with it. Dragged a few of the trees and limbs that Connor's cut down already, and then he's trimming some over here, and the plan is to just kind of get rid of the ones that we can see through our windows and the ones that are the closest to our house. So we can start there and maybe work our way back and slowly make some progress, but it's feeling pretty good. It always feels great when we do yard work together. I love it. I love just working hard and seeing what each other can accomplish. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, come on, muscle.
That is a wrap on day one of yard work. I would say the pile back here got pretty big today after a lot of work. Pretty fun to say. It's been 6 months since we've been doing stuff like this, so it kind of feels natural to get back into it. We have so much more to do, but gotta start with baby steps, right? If you try to do it all right now, we literally would break our backs.
That's enough for today. Just a good start trying to figure out what all we need to clean up and how long it's just going to take us. So we're going to call it a night for now, and tomorrow we will get back to it and maybe do some cleanup at the other property because there is lots to be done there as well.